Hey, what's up guys? This is gearmoauto. I'm doing front brakes on a Spyder MR2, a Toyota. They're not too bad. Let's go ahead and get to it. First, you want to come over here and lift your vehicle safely, of course. Then you want to get the wheel off. Come over here and get this 14mm caliper bolt off. You can get the top and the bottom one off. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get this off. And now notice something, guys. There's a nut on the other side of the bolt. Sometimes when you're going to get these off or going to tighten them, that'll turn with the bolt. So we're going to have to hold that and then get the bolt out. If you hold that nut and then move on your bolt, the bolt will come loose and come out. So I'm going to hold this. You can use pliers or you can use a wrench. It's 14mm as well, and then get that caliper bolt out. So I got that loose. Let me get my caliper bolts out here, and we will set these aside. Don't lose them. You'll need them. Okay, got these. I'm gonna put them over here. Now you could wiggle this off, just kind of massage it back and forth until it comes off while pulling it out. Go ahead and get this off, and we're gonna set it to the side so it's supported. You don't want it to hang from the brake line too much like that. That's not too good for it. So I got a little metal hook and I hung it on the strut there just to keep supported and out the way. Then we're gonna pop these pads out. As you can see, that little metal tab poking off, that's a sensor. And then here's the outer one. So if you want to get this caliper bracket off, you gotta get these 17mm bolts off right here. Get yourself like a long wrench or whatever you got to get them out. That is if you're machining the rotor or replacing the rotor, you would need to take these out. So we'll get these out. Looks like someone put some Loctite on here. Okay, I'm going to get my bottom one off. Don't lose these bolts and don't lose the washers that's on them as well. This will slide off once you get the two bolts. Well, it'll really just drop, so make sure you're holding it and pull it off. Your rotor. So you could put a nut right here and then hit it from the back with a rubber mallet if it's frozen in place, like rusted in place. Also, you can run a general bolt through these threads right here, and the bolt will go through and push on the hub and push the rotor off. I'll show you what I mean. This is only if your rotor's stuck. Yeah, and when I say stuck, I mean like it's just kind of rusted in place a little bit. So you just run a bolt in here, and then you can go back and forth between the two holes, and it'll push off the rotor, or push the rotor off the hub. So it's just a little trick. You can probably look in your garage if you have bolts laying around, you can probably fit it. So I'm gonna go machine my rotor now, and then we will get it going. I actually have it on the car lathe, so I'm just going to machine it with this. While that's doing that, let's talk about pads. I got OEM pads here. I got to switch my shims over from my old pads to my new pads. If you have aftermarket pads, you may not have these shims, or they might already be attached already. So only if you have Toyota pads, this will do it. We're going to put some this brown stuff called Rusty on here, and then it kind of acts like a heat preventative and kind of like a glue too, putting these on. And then make sure you put them on your new pads exactly how they were on the old pads, like this one. The little black tab pokes up on the bottom shim, and then on this one just kind of looks like this when you get them on. The black shim usually goes on the bottom of the two. Next, we're going to clean out the hardware on the bracket. Also lube up the slide pins, put some brake lube. I just put a little brake lube in the hole there, and I just put the pins back in. That's so they don't get seized in there, or like so they can't move that good. It's always good to get those out. And then next I put a little lube, brake lube, just on the ears of these pads on the ends, just a tad bit, not a lot at all. Alright, so I put my caliper bracket back on. It's with the 17mm bolts again. Get those nice and tight, and then once the caliper is nice and good, I put my pads in. As you can see, I have the sensor on the inner bottom, and that's because that's the spot that generally wears out the fastest. Then now I got my tool, I'm depressing the piston. You got to push the piston back in the caliper. There's different methods online you can look to do this if you don't have a tool. We got to get that caliper piston push back in. Alright, got that. Now as you can see, it's pushed in, and now it'll fit over the new pads, because the newer pads are going to be a lot thicker than your old ones. So yeah, I just slid this over on there. Now I'm going to put my caliper bolts back in. And remember what I said about the nut, you got to hold it if it's spinning a lot. Generally you got to hold it to tighten them down. But yeah, so I got that in. And that's it, guys. Double check your stuff. Make sure the brake line's not twisted or nothing. And I hope this video helped you.